14th of September 2022 and I'm off on my travels. Off to the Lake District, but not today. Today we're heading north to Harrogate, where we're going to stay overnight prior to a trip on the Settle and Carlisle line tomorrow. You'll see it's pretty miserable when we left, but I've got a front seat in the coach, which means I can take some video through the front windscreen. Hopefully those who are not entirely happy with film through the windows will feel a little bit more acceptable of this. It's certainly a bit of a clearer viewpoint, that's for sure. But I'm going to add this next segment because maybe nobody's actually been through the Dartford Tunnel. Apologies for those who it bores the pants off, but there might be some of you that quite like the experience of actually driving through the tunnel. So we're on our way to Stamford, and here we go through the tunnel.
Done was the tunnel going this way, going through this way, and then in those days the traffic used to flow both ways, and then it got so congested, got more traffic on the road. They then built one coming the other way, and they split them up, and then we've had more traffic. People, each family had about 4 or 5 cars each, so now they put the Dartford crossing in, and that's when it stopped from being a Dartford tunnel to the Dartford crossing. On windy days they still shut the bridge and revert to the tunnels. We're going on this side because this side is easy for us to get off to the service area, Thurrock. Nowadays, of course, you still have to pay for the tunnel, although we probably paid for it 4 or 5 times over as a country. But you can pay before you go, or you've got 24 hours, up to 24 hours after, to pay for your crossing. My son went this way a while ago, and he forgot to pay, so he got a £70 fine. I laughed, oh yes, I did laugh. It was funny. There we are, welcome to Essex. Those 3 look like swords, scimitars. They're not, they're fishing hooks. This was the kingdom of the Saxons at one time. Great fishermen, the Saxons. Although if you go now, you can, not on a warmer day, you can just you can smell that spray tan smell, can't you? Which Essex is famous for.
Well, we're back in Stamford again. I hope we might stop somewhere different on the way to Harrogate this year, but not to worry. Time to revisit things I didn't know last year. This is the sheep market, and we have the strange obelisk thing here again. I still can't find out what that is. I'm wondering if it's something to do with the sheep auctions. And I'm open to suggestions.
There you go.
This time I'm looking back towards the bus station. Down there to the left is the River Welland. And as we follow up through there at the sheep market, I'm heading up to the main square. One of the big problems for me today was the noise in the market square of the roadworks. It was terrible. Unfortunately, my technology, although it's reasonably good, is not really skillful enough to iron out one particular element of the noise and keep the rest of the background in. So unfortunately, it's either do this sort of rather silent voiceover, if you like, or nothing at all. And I didn't really want to stop showing you these pictures because some of these buildings in Stamford, they're lovely old buildings. This one in particular, look, here's the old post office here, VR, and I suppose that stands for Victoria Regina. You've got to go off the beaten track here to find these older buildings. You know, they're not necessarily on the main, all the tourists walk round here before getting on the coach route kind of thing. But one of the things I missed last time, and I have no idea why, I didn't go far enough I suppose, is this church in the middle. This is the main church in Stamford. Look at it. And this is unusual. Never seen one of them before beside the church, to be honest with you. Not sure what it is, but it's like so many churches. They have individual unique features that make them worthy of a visit in their own right. And we're looking up now, right up at the tower. There's some interesting little bits and pieces up there that make that spire just a bit different from elsewhere. Are those dove perches in there? Air holes? You name it. Did they stick anti-aircraft guns there during the Second World War? I make a little joke of that. I don't mean any disrespect, but it's the kind of quirky thing that the British tend to do. But it certainly was a lovely church, and I did try and go inside. Well, as we'll hear in a minute, I wasn't allowed inside the film, but it was lovely inside, I can assure you. And considering the quirky little things, this is a fairly recent item up here, the sundial, put up I think in 2012 to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the Queen's accession to the throne. Can't get further back, unfortunately, because I'll be standing on graves. But there's the sundial. Some lovely stained glass in this church. Unfortunately, I don't allow photography, and there was a man on the door making sure it wasn't happening. Interesting inscriptions on some of the paving slabs here. Must be people who've departed. People all over the place again, which makes filming difficult. This end of the church is a lovely stained glass window. I'm going to try and get over on the other side of the road. There's an awful lot of pubs around here. back here. There's another church over there. We'll go and have a closer look at that, perhaps. I have been inside this church. It's a lovely building. My guess is the tower here was an added addition. Can you add an addition? I don't know. Building materials used is very much different to the original. Anyway, nice to see something different here for a change. Seems to be pedestrianised. Quite a few of the streets around here. Work that's ongoing. There's another church at the other end of the street. The one on the corner, St John the Baptist, but it's shut and locked. So I'm just going to have a wander up here. See what that one's all about.
But actually,
Walker's Books. And Thornton's, is that chocolate? Anyway, they call that the Gothic House. I'm not sure that that one next to it is Gothic. A mixture of ancient and modern, I think.
You too, she said.
Now that's interesting. It looks as though that old church, little clock up the top, has been turned into a sort of commercial centre. There are graves here. Oh. This style of architecture, stonework used all over Stamford, but this is really very weird. Some of the graveyard there, but what have we got here? Francis Symes, 1831. They've moved, obviously, some of the gravestones over here. The building has been renovated. Definitely was a church, but certainly not now. And then behind the hoarding over there, where is it? There's a kind of a Gothic looking building. It's public library. All hidden behind hoardings. Well, I guess you could say we had Stamford Pt1 last year, Part 2 this year. Every road you go down there's something interesting. There's a lot of refurbishment work going on. Like here. Passing a bank. I don't know which bank it was, but guess what? It is now an obligatory Starbucks. Costa coffee. They're everywhere like a rash. And something a bit more modern here. Before we come to the end of this road, Marks and Spencer's food hall has been built into another old building. There's a something up there. Don't know if I'm going to be able to read it when I get home, but
I've got to go down to
not much of
and I've got
a
to
clue.
Tom. So did you want to go into Grasmere and then I go to It's only because I just no, that's fine. And then I give Colin it's good news that we like this. It shouldn't be very long, but
And that's it for this road. Well, you can't come to anywhere in Rutland that's anywhere near Melton Mowbray without having a pork pie handmade by a local butcher's. and I've just sat and had one of the most delicious pork pies I've ever had in my life. I thought the one at Ironbridge was good, but the local butchers here in Stamford, Nelson's, the meat, lovely, well seasoned, and the pie, beautiful pastry, and oozing with an essential jelly. If a pork pie is not oozing with jelly, it's not a pork pie. But I just noticed something unusual sitting here. That's the top of that church that I said was closed, so I couldn't go in. That's sitting on top of. It looks like an add-on, extra bit on the end of that old building there. There's a cherub of some kind. There he is. Or is it Pan? It looks like he's got a bare bum, almost a bare bum. How rude. And I've just noticed, panning round,
Stand clear. This man is turning left.
like I said, everywhere you go, there's an old building. And lunch break seems as good a place as any to leave it for now. There's enough to make a second part, which I'll be showing next week, when I venture down once again towards the River Welland and a few different buildings that I didn't get to see last time. So more of interest in Stamford than I thought, to be honest. I hope you're enjoying it. So join me in part 2 next week for the rest of my visit to Stamford and the rest of the journey up to Harrogate and to the Cairn Hotel. We might even get a glimpse of Betty's famous tea rooms. That you'll have to wait for. See you all soon. Thank you.